So my job, it's a job. It's bringing stone like this from deep space to your hands. Well, not really from deep space, but from remote place on Earth, mostly from desert like Atacama in Chile, the Sahara mainly, and Oman in the past. So I'm a meteorite hunter. This is the name for my job. But I'm mostly picking meteorite because when meteorite fall on Earth, they are not moving so fast. So it's not really hunting. Be sure it's quite easy. So I do that since 30 years, and I have contact with mainly collectors, like private collectors. You have collectors of everything, and you have collectors of meteorites. But as of my business, because it's a business too, it's contact with scientists like you now in the future, because I provide some very important samples, lunar, Martian, and carbonaceous chondrites mainly. I'm not a scientist, so I am not making talk today with composition, isotopic composition, classification. I'm not here for this. Just to show you how it's in the field with some small video, picture. And so let's go start. Yes, my idea was to compare meteorite hunting in the past, present, and future. Well, you will see in some. There are some parts of this, but I probably jump some other parts. Well, this is just to quickly explain the difference: comet, asteroid, meteorite. Meteor, you are starting to have a light in the atmosphere. The fireball, en français, it's a bolide. On meteorite, it's the last step when the stone it's on the field. Sorry. Well, just a picture. I like this picture because it's typical from my office. So it's you have box with everything. It's slice of meteorite here, piece of meteorite everywhere, and just a big one. This meteorite, it's so typical because it's black fusion crust. Why it's so black? The meteorite, it's so black because the high temperature during through the atmosphere. So this is what you are looking in the desert at the beginning. When you start looking for meteorite, you are looking just for black stone with fresh crust. But in reality, there are very, very few meteorites like this. This meteorite fall in 1918 in Libya, so it's very fresh. So the white spot, it's from the clay. So it's white on dark. But so hunting for meteorites, it's the best part for me, but it's only, I estimate, about 5% of my time. So the best part, it's like in many jobs, for sure, maybe like you, the best part, it's very few percent. Most of my time is just cutting ugly rocks like this. With this rocks, it's a Martian, for example. So I use this kind of wire to save the material, and I don't use any water. So this is why it's so slow. I don't use water because scientists need to have a sample clean, with ideally no touching water. So most of my time it's this again, and making small piece. Why I make small piece like this? It's just for public, because part of my business, it's a small piece for gifts, you know. So this is my slave. This is my my son. Every holidays, he prepares some boxes. In these boxes, the idea is to put all the small square in boxes and selling this on internet on different shop. This is not very fun part, but I need this to have time for. This is another part of my time. It's selling by quantity. So this is a meteorite. The name is Gao. Gao fall in 1960, and this is why it's, as you can see, it's not black. First step, if you are looking for black stone, you miss this. It's not black, it's brown, because you have a kind of oxidation since 1960. And people now today doing field field trip, no trip, plowing in the field. They find again today, so many years after, many small meteorites, and I receive every year a box with 10 to 20 kilo of this small stone. So you can imagine each stone, it's hard to make deal with stone by stone. So I usually sell this by quantity, by kilo, to other people over the world who make this in small boxes. Waiting for a meteorite falling next to you, it's an idea. Why? Just waiting. This is first idea. Alors, if you are waiting, just to have an idea, a surface like our country, it's 80 meteorites, more than under 10 grams, so a small one you probably never find, and only around 5 more than 100 grams. So it's very few if you consider this meteorite can fall in the forest, on a place you can find, just because it's not easy. If you have the best place, it's plowing field, but in France you have some in some place, but in many places. So you can consider on 10 last year we have only 3 meteorites, new meteorite in France. So except if the meteorite just fall near to you, it's very, very hard to hunt for meteorite in France. So this is why the desert is so easy compared to France, because the idea is looking for place with no trees, no vegetation. Alors, one other possibility is to look for archaeological clues, like Robert Perry. Robert Perry and the giant iron of Cape York. This is the guy, Robert Perry. He was an explorer on the North Pole, and he make trade with Inuit, with local people, and he brings some of this very special harpoon. These are harpoon, and and from this harpoon you have a small piece of iron, which is strange because this population, they have nothing except ice and bones from animals. So where is this iron come from? And Robert Perry understand quickly that this piece came from a big piece, from a very big piece. But the local people don't want to show the big one. So another trip, Perry decided to bring some alcohol, lots of alcohol, and a young guy just under alcohol shows the main piece to Robert Perry, and Robert Perry was just so surprised by the size. This is the size, and this is a young guy. And you can imagine it's 34 tons. And the Inuit use this since a long time to make harpoon with small piece of metal because it's so sharp. And they use a big piece of stones to hammer the big one. Just, you imagine it's just smashing the iron for a long time. Sometimes you have a small piece just pop up and they use this. So now, if you want to see this meteorite, it's at American National Museum of History in New York. It's here now. But it was Perry make 3 different expeditions before he can move this piece and put this piece on a boat. He sold it for maybe $100,000 this period, which was a lot of money. This is another piece of the same meteorite from Greenland. Its name is Cape York. And this piece was found in the 70s. We don't know if the local people Inuit use this as the big one, because this one was under the ice and just a small piece just was on the top. But this is the same meteorite. And here I'm just taking measure for big slice, just for fun. So it's 20 ton, this. To give you an idea, it's 20 ton. It's not so big, but it's 20 ton. So this kind of meteorite, it's pure iron and nickel. So it's very dense. This is maybe... sorry, I move a little bit. No. This. Alors, Harvey-Ninger. Harvey-Ninger is the first meteorite hunter. He traveled in different places in the US, show to local people what he is looking for. He's looking for stone with crust, ideally, and he can pay cash. So people carefully look about stone in place where there are usually no stones, and if they find a big stone that it nothing to be there, he makes some contact with Ninja. He was very successful because Ninja, from Ninja, we have 50 different new meteorites for about 20 years, which was very very efficient, sorry. He used in some place some metal detector. He was the first one to use metal detector. Myself, I used metal detector too in some place. The metal detector at this moment was not very efficient like today, but he found some piece around the meteor crater. Maybe you know the meteor crater. It's in Arizona. It's a big crater, and there are pieces of iron meteorite all around. This is a museum. Voilà. So all these meteorites were found in the US, and thanks to Leininger, because it was the first one. Okay, sorry, it's in French. Just to explain another method of looking for meteorites, the dust bowl. Maybe you know the dust bowl under another name, or maybe with I don't know the name in English of Raisin la Colère de Steinbeck. You know these books? Why I am talking about this? Because with the dust bowls, all the soil was gone in some place. So you have, at the end, only the bedrock. So in this place, they found a lot of meteorite because the soil was removed by the wind. And finally, the meteorite probably in the soil just stay on the bedrock. If I about 100 meteorites, and we know now it's about 100,000 years accumulation in this place. So it was very interesting. And in the desert, it's more or less the same process. We need the wind. By experience, I can say in some place in the desert, you have plenty of meteorite. A few kilometers, you have almost nothing because the wind locally can be very strong, and in other places, depend on the geology, not. Oh, ça c'est, you probably know the meteorite in Antarctica. This is why we have so many meteorites in Antarctica. With the wind, same. You need the wind in our case. So meteorites are trapped in the ice along the way, but maybe need thousands of years. They are just stick along the mountain. So here you have the mountain in black, and the meteorites are just in this part. Even if they are falling in this part, they are just moving with the ice and the wind, and they stay just like blocked along the mountain. This is why there are so many meteorites in Antarctica. It's so easy. So easy. It's white and just black. This is a nice one. Okay, so now I will show you my favorite place on Earth. It's in Atacama Desert. It's the north of Chile. This place it's very good because, as you can see, there are almost nothing, no vegetation for sure. It's dry since maybe 5 to 7 million years, so it's a very old desert, even if you have some period with humidity. And voila, this is so easy to find this one, but as you can see, this stone, this meteorite is not black, it's brown, because it's probably a very old fall, and the crust, it's a rich metal, so the metal turns brown with oxidation. So if you are looking only for black stone in Atacama, you almost find nothing. You have to look at the brown one. Sorry. Voilà. Another one. This one it's good one because you have crust black, but it's starting to turn brown. And the shape is typical when it's fresh in meteorite. Meteorite it's quite smooth. You don't have a sharp angle. And again, there are nothing around. So you can spot from very, very far away. Now, it's interesting because you have just a small spot of crust, but the rest of the meteorite, it's broken. You have sharp edge, not smooth anymore, and the color, it's close now to the soil. So along the time, it's more difficult to spot the meteorites. Some meteorites turn the same color like the soil, some not. This is another desert. It's completely different. It's in Oman. And in Oman, what is difficult is if you have plenty of small stone, black stone, everywhere. So when I'm looking in Oman, it's different. You can check every stone. In Chile, there are very few stones, so you can check every stone. In Oman, it's too difficult because you have so many small black stone or not black stone. So I'm just looking for big. You choose a minimum size. Minimum size. It's about size of like this size, 10 centimeters. And at 10 centimeters, okay, you can check the stone, but not for smaller because it's too much work to check. Alors, here you have the in front. Oh no, it's a REG on ERG. ERG, I don't know the name in English. ERG, it's a sand dune that move very fast. And what's happened with the sand moving very fast, you have kind of abrasion of the meteorites. So some meteorites are just flat. It's like ice on the water. You have 90% under the water. Here you have 90% on the soil, and just on the top, it's just like cutting by wind and sun blasting. And at the end, what's happened at the end for a meteorite, it just broke in smaller pieces. And after, in Oman, few thousand years, it's just only small piece, and you can't find anything more. This meteorite is not broken during the fall, but broken after the fall, with the wind and the sun blasting. This is one more typical with a shape, smooth shape. Ok, ça, je vais le passer. So when I found meteorite, what is important to take the GPS data. It's important for science and taking picture. This meteorite, it's very interesting for me because a interesting story behind. It's a lunar meteorite. And it was a terrible day for me and my brother because usually every day we find some meteorites. Few, but we find every day. And this day we try another place in Oman and no success, no meteorite, nothing. We were totally desperate. And at the end, we choose with the light on the back when the sun is very close to, I don't know, at the end of the day. So with the light soleil on the back, and you drive. I drive in this place, and I check a stone, strange stone. So I pick up the stone, I say, wow, seems it's a good one. And a good one it was, because it's a lunar meteorite. It's a very interesting one with a nice breccia. And so this is why, even with a worst day, you can at the end have a good good story. This is like looking for treasure in some way, even if I don't like to compare meteorite and treasure. This is another lunar meteorite. This one, it was in a place where many people are checking for meteorites, and they miss this one. I don't know why, because it looked like nothing, you know? It's like just a small black stone, and in this place you have more black stone. But this one, from my eye, I say, well, it's not terrestrial stone, and it turned to be an interesting meteorite on the moon. I'm hunting for meteorite, but I'm mostly buying meteorite from North Africa. And Black Beauty, so hunting meteorite is the most interesting part, but checking meteorite people send to me, it's interesting part too. Black Beauty, it's a meteorite from Mars. Maybe you know this name, Black Beauty, because it's a very popular name for this meteorite, but the number is NWA, Northwest Africa, on the number. And this is a picture of one of the Martian in the field with a position. I never published this with a position. So, what is this? Alors, voilà. Là, I am in the field in some way. And so I didn't find this Martian, but I was there to buy from this guy. And this guy, a very smart guy, Rashid. Rashid is my favorite guy because he has very good eyes to select meteorites from the Nomad. And he offered me just the best one. So we are very close. And this time he said, Luc, you have to come to make the deal. And the finder is this guy. This is the finder, the very happy finder. Because at this time, you know, it's a Martian meteorite. And it was very good for this guy. And now this Martian meteorite is on display at the museum, so I'm very proud of this. The Museum Ministerial History in Paris with Nakla from Egypt, another Martian, Chargoti from India, and Chassigny, the famous Martian from France, and mine is here. So why this Martian is so precious? It's because it's an open book on Mars story. You have different kind of rocks mixed together, and every time I cut or scientists cut these stones, they find different lithology with different history on Mars. One of the first publication was about zircon in this Martian, because zircon is 4.5 billion years, and the zircon in the matrix, on the meteorite in the small fragment, some classed. Now there are many more publications. Even some quartz was found in this Martian, so it's still many people are very excited about this Martian. This is just to show the story behind this Martian. So I'm here. Here is Carlegy, scientist, famous scientist, has seen meteorite, and is J. Piatek. And we have here, it's Black Beauty, big one, and two small one. I have bigger one too somewhere. So at this time, we meet together and we realize all these meteorites just fit together like a puzzle. And we were just surprised because I bring mine, Jay, this guy, he's a nice guy. He is my, it's a terrible competitor for me. Jay, it's a long story, Jay, because when people in North Africa know they have very interesting meteorites, they know we are two potential buyers, and they try to make the better deal for from me or Jay. So we are competitor in some way, but it's a nice competition. It's good for people finding meteorite, because we pay much more than we would like at the beginning, because we want the stone, we don't want the other one as a special stone. Anyway, so we realize all this piece of Black Beauty fit together, which was very... So, and this means that we are all this piece in two hands, me and Jay. So it's a small meteorite, broken in small pieces, but it's not a huge find. You have some meteorite, even for Martian, you can find some kilogram, not Black Beauty. This is one of the publications with Black Beauty, and this is mine too, this piece. And what is interesting, you have this, like chondrules, but this is not chondrules, it's more like a tectic-like. It's due to huge impact. It's a glass spherule, and it's full of glass spherule. But this is the story of this stone. The first time I received the first Black Beauty, at the beginning, it was just a meteorite. I was surprised because, wow, there are some big chondrules. I never seen, usually chondrules are always the same size in a kind of meteorite. There are very big ones, small ones. I say, wow, this is strange. And when I tried to cut, with the first cut, I said, what is this? Because it was so hard to cut. It's hard to cut because the matrix, it's 1 micron dust. And with the dust, the wire saw it just don't cut anymore. It was a nightmare to cut. Well, now I use another method to cut it. But so at the beginning, we were thinking it's maybe a strange chondrite, which is not. It's Mars. So maybe this is interesting to show you when I'm... okay. So it's just I'm walking, I'm not driving here. And where is the meteorite? which is surprised me. I use my iPhone to say, okay, I spot a meteorite and I try to make a video. But on the video, you can't see anything except at the end. My eyes of everybody are much better than camera, than iPhone at this moment. So this is a black. Not so black, no, mostly brown. But you see that in Chile, it's crazy how white it is in some place. It's so white. Maybe this, another video, same. I just walk. It's more difficult because you have the shadow from stone. On every shadow, you can think it's a meteorite, but it's not. So where is the meteorite? Just at the end. See, it's here. But you can. I have many places. I'm looking some place many times and say, wow, why I miss this one? No, it's I use a magnet now. I don't use magnet anymore because for some science, it's important. You don't use magnet. The magnetism of the stone could be interesting for science, but it's a long time ago. I don't make any more video. Sometimes you see a big spot like this. It's big, huh? It's big. Say, wow. And the shape is good. You have this kind of small depression. The name is remaglit. During the atmosphere, outside it's melting, and you have some deep, not deep, small depression. Typical for a meteorite. But finally, no, it's not a meteorite. The name is Vantifac. Vantifac, with the wind, it's the same process like meteorite falling. So all this small dip, and it's brown like a meteorite. It was a big deception for me because it's so big, this stone. But now there are many tracks. I was the first spotting this stone in Chile, but recently I check again, and there are many tracks, many people looking for meteorites arrive in the same spot because you can see this spot from 1 kilometers minimum. Looking for meteorite during the night, it's good because finally during the night you have a very good contrast. I remember the first time I explained to my competitor, I'm looking for meteorites in the night. Why you do that? Because it's more easy. With the light, you are more focused in front of you. You are not looking everywhere. You are just very focused on the contrast with the LED. Now with the LED, it was not possible before when the light was so weak. But now with a powerful LED, you have a very good contrast. Maybe this is a video just to... okay, it's a video. Okay. So I'm looking for meteorite during the night, during the day. I sleep very little. But you have nothing to do except looking for meteorite in this place. So, night and day. Well, this meteorite is very ugly. It's ugly because it's broken, old, and probably just a conduit. This is not very interesting. It's first meteorite I found with using a drone, but it was 10 years ago. Now it's not new. Okay, but just for the story, it was interesting because this is my brother. We use a drone just to taste. So we put a meteorite in the field and check with the camera if we can see meteorite from altitude, not very big altitude. So we make a test, and looking for the test, there are another meteorite, not the one we put on the soil, but another one. So it was fun because checking the video, we found another meteorite. Well, Okay. Oh, right, this one. It was a nice meteorite. I don't know. Well, just to illustrate how big can be a meteorite, this is my daughter. Now she turned 20, so it's an old picture. This meteorite, it's in a museum now. But it's an interesting meteorite because it fell in Russia in 1947, February 12. The name is Sikhotalin. It's a very famous meteorite. And this is the biggest outside Russia. It's half a ton. It's quite big. Now, well, in North Africa, like for Black Beauty, people are looking for meteorites. They put in bag like this, and I have some contact like Rashid. You see Rashid before, or Rashid check this bag to pick up the good stone and send me a picture, or we make some deal. But the first step, it's le marché aux cailloux. It's a stone market in Bouches d'Or, in Sahara Occidental. It's Bouches d'Or. It's south of Morocco. If you can go there, you have plenty of meteorites, but the good ones are just selected. Be sure you can have a good one now. Maybe 10 years before, 15 years before, but now they know very well the meteorite. Alors, just for fun, I make the ugly meteorite are for science only. This is ugly. It's, I don't know what to say other than it's ugly meteorite because it's black, it's fragile, there's nothing to see, it's just black. You have some small spots, very small spots, it's sulfide, small spot. And it's a breccia, so you can see it's like small piece stick together, not very solid stick, because when I received this stone, it was in July, mid-July last year. I received this main piece and many small pieces just falling. So I was a bit disappointed because the stone, even if it's ugly, it's it's a nice meteorite. But the story, now the name, it's a Wedge Shebaika. And Wedge Shebaika, it's a CI. It's a very, very rare kind of meteorite because before this, you have the most famous is Orgueil, who fell in France a long time ago. So now the pieces of Orgueil are very weathered in collection. You have Halley, it's another French meteorite, same classification CI, but you have few grams in the museum, so it's almost nothing. Ivuna in Tanzania, and Ivuna, it's maybe 10, 20 grams. It's quite well preserved because the fall is more recent. And you have Revelstock in Canada, it's just 1 gram. So we have very few of this material. And as Alessandro explained this morning, the composition is very close to the sun composition, except gas. So, and it's a good timing for me because first analysis shows that it's the same composition like Ryugu from the Osiris-Rex mission. It's the same. It is so close that it's a kind of joke to say it's maybe a piece that falls from the capsule entering the atmosphere. And now this piece, it's well preserved. In first step in this place, under Argonne, after another place where we can see from outside. So this stone is in good hands now for future analysis. But it's my best meteorite since Black Beauty. So when I bring back meteorite from the desert, I use my Spectro XRF, this one. And because I have this since 12 years now, I have thousands of data on hundreds of interesting rare meteorites. So it's quite easy for me to compare. And when I received this stone, this black stone, red Shebaika, with the first test, I compare with other carbonaceous chondrite. I say it's the same like Orgueil. So I say, wow, it's a good one. And this is another tool I use. It's a MET. MET was made in Cerège, Aix-en-Provence. I have the susceptibility and conductivity, which is very important for pairing meteorites. And again, red Shebaika and Orgueil are very different from all other meteorites because there are a lot of what's the name? Sorry. So with this small tool, you have the main meteorite here. So it's quite easy to say if it's LL, low iron content meteorite, L or H. But for example, for the carbonaceous chondrites, they are all packed in the same place, so it's not very useful. But Orgueil is not the Orgueil. It's very, if you put Orgueil is probably somewhere like this. Right. So it's very apart from other carbonaceous chondrite. And beautiful meteorites are for collectors only. It's just a joke. Meteorite can be nice. Not nice for science, but you can make some science with pallasite. The name is pallasite. It's iron, nickel, and silicate. We cut in slice because it's so beautiful in slice. And for sure, collectors prefer this than the ugly stone. Which is nice. You have the pattern. The pattern, it's Widmanstätten, the name. The metal crystallizes very slowly in space, 3 degrees by million years. And you have two separation between high nickel content alloy and low. So, example of 3 different pallasites. This is Esquel from Argentina. This is Imilac from Chile. I was in Imilac recently, but now it's hard to find big piece to make slides like this. It's too many people looking for meteorite now. And this is a big one. This is probably a big one, pallasite I have in my hands. It's very big. It's about this size. It's so nice with the metal on the. Sorry, it's a little bit in different ways. For when I remember when I start to be interested by meteorites, you read in many books if you have some vesicles or bubbles in stone, this is not a meteorite. Okay. This is a very interesting meteorite, and you have plenty of bubbles inside, outside. And this is an angrite. Angrite is a very interesting meteorite for science. So if you want to collect special meteorites, you have to think differently. Bubbles is not a problem. Vesicles is not a problem. But meteorite, you have the super-oriented meteorite. Alors, super-oriented, it's... you can see clearly how this piece just go through the atmosphere, and the crust was melted and shaped by the aerodynamic atmosphere, shaping like a shield. And what is interesting, this is my experience, kind of experience. I just This is just alcohol to show it's crazy how the alcohol just follows the small line, because you have flow line, you have the main shape, but you have flow line, very small line of crust, and with the liquid it follows the shape, so it's very aerodynamically efficient. Again, sorry. Alors, same. You have to looking for crust. No crust, not a meteorite. No, this is a typical with crust, okay, but this is a very special meteorite with no crust. And first picture I received from this, the guy was not sure it was a meteorite. So I say, yes, it's curious. We never saw any meteorite with big crystal elongated like this, green crystal. And it turned to be a very, very special meteorite. Probably the oldest meteorite except CIA in Allende, for example. And on the other hand, this is crust, full of crust, and this is not a meteorite. The crust, it's not a crust, it's manganese. And this is typical if you are dealing in Morocco, in South Morocco, buying some meteorite, be sure this is not this kind of stone, because people in South Morocco know this is not meteorite, but it looks like meteorite. And if you have not an XRF to test, you say, okay, it's a meteorite, but it's not. Yeah, there are some meteorite. My favorite meteorite are meteorite with a story behind, human story, ideally. And Benenitra, it's... Benenitra, I received an email from a person from Madagascar with picture. I receive every day picture mail. It's 99.99% it's not meteorite. But this time, the picture was not good, but from the picture I say, okay, it's a meteorite. And the person say, okay, this stone are just falling from the moon. We have plenty of this. We want to sell this stone. So I reply, okay, for sure it's a meteorite from the picture. It's a meteorite from the moon. I'm pretty sure not. Why do you think it's from the moon? And it's because there are a moon eclipse. Comment on dit eclipse in English? Eclipse, okay. Eclipse, moon eclipse. just the moon eclipse. Just at the end, the meteorite fall on a small village with maybe 100 people. It's not sure there are 100 people, maybe 50 people, and plenty of stone just fall. So people think it's a piece of the moon, which makes sense in some ways, you know. And now we know the name because in Madagascar there are some sensor for earthquake, and this event was very big, and there a signal during the fall. So we are sure the fall was at the end of the eclipse, moon eclipse. And this guy just
mipoahan la tena mipoaky tavovo miodiko manao an'izay magnano fa misafo la poa paritaky amizay baka atiky mba mitoy.
So even if you don't understand his language, it's easy to understand what he saw. He was he was in Benenitra when the meteorite fall, so he clearly described the fall. It's just very interesting. And another, alors, this is the main mass. When we say the main mass, this is the biggest piece from the fall. When you have fall, you have many many, sometimes just one, but mostly many stones. And the biggest is the main mass. So this is the main mass, 11 kilo. And so I bought the small one, and this guy was very proud to have the main mass, and he realized this is the biggest stone, so he want to keep for some time. I'm waiting few years before I can deal, not with this guy, but with a person who deal with this guy in Madagascar. And voilà, this is a small one. Alors, it's in Madagascar, but it's a place where it's quite dry. You can see the vegetation. It's not a desert. It's like semi-desertic, and this is the main mass, 11 kilo. And this woman, she's from the small village, so she helped me to make the deal with a guy. But Benelitra, it's a very nice story because the eclipse of the moon and all this meteorite. The meteorite, it's a chondrite, so it's quite common. But the story is not common for me. Yes. Well, sorry. And so témoignage, the stone was hot when I pick up. Yeah. I have so many testimony, message, mail. Okay, it was so hot. I'm pretty sure it's a meteorite. No. A meteorite, if you pick up a meteorite just after the fall, it's cold. It's just cold. And one of the best example, it's in Benelitra. Benelitra, my contact, he just sent me an email. He was surprised. Why the stone was so cold when we pick up? He was surprised. Don't say it was hot. No, it was cold. Why? So yeah, it's burned outside, but quickly after the fall, it's burned on few millimeters. And when the crust, it just disappears. So from the mass at the beginning, you have maybe 20% at the end, few percent 10%, but all the rest is just gone, and you have only a crust very small, 1 millimeter, and inside is deep. It's cold from space. So that's typical. Stone was hot, so hot when I pick up. No.